Hey, what's going on, people? Thank you so much for taking the time out to check out another video. I'm hoping that this one is, good enough for you to follow through and watch to the end, because I'm just gonna give it to you raw, baby. Right? We're talking about the mark of the beast. That's what we're talking about. Okay, and the reason why I'm talking about it again is because people are still talking about it, man. They're still talking about it, saying that this thing, yeah, right, this thing right here is it. But it's not, man. I'm telling you, it's not. Right? You have to understand that many things have to happen before we actually recognize the mark of the beast. Yes? So you have to understand that when you read the book of Revelation, specifically chapter 13, it ain't hiding nothing. It's right there in your face. It's telling you what's what, right? It's not giving us specifics as in who the person or people are, right? It's not telling us what the actual mark is, but it's telling us that these things are coming and to look out for them, right? And use wisdom to understand, right? Number one, what it is, and then, of course, number two, who he is, right? Because it also gives us the number of a man, and his number is right. So let's continue on with this thing, man. So why are people saying that this current joke, I'm gonna call it the joke, yeah, is the mark of the beast, right? Quite easily. It's because of the acceptance, the willingness, the unblinded willingness, the blindfold willingness, right? For people to accept this and for people to take it without really looking into it, right? You can see how the masses just said, you know what? Yeah, let's do this, right? But nobody knows what it's all about. We were promised that it was going to do this for us, but it didn't do that for us, right? Many people that have taken it were under the assumption that, hey, I'm good, ain't nothing gonna happen. Well, they were wrong, right? Many people to this day were fired and are continuing to get fired, released from their jobs, because they just don't want to take it for whatever reason, right? These people are vilified by those that have taken it, right? And of course, it's a masterstroke that's been done by the health officials, by the governments, the politicians, right? And it's amazing how they've done this so that they can further split society on this, right? It's not one thing. It's one thing to split us on race and other issues, right? But they've gone a step further now, right? And the problem with all of this, when one who hasn't taken it tries to speak to those who have or those that are considering, is that the cognitive dissonance, right, of those that are looking to take it or have taken it, um, gets a whack, right? And what I mean is this: is that cognitive dissonance, y'all, you know what it is, man. And for those that don't, it's basically, you're living your life and you believe certain things, right? But when something or someone comes along and they offer an alternative to what it is that you believe, you start to think and say, hey, wait, what's going on? There's a disturbance in the force, right? No. You can either choose to believe this new information or you can just deny it. Say, nah, that ain't true, right? I mean, perfect example. Look at the world. You have flat earthers, right? All the world, the whole of us believe that the world is round, right? I'm not saying it ain't round, and I'm not saying that I'm a flat earther. I'm just presenting this information to you, right? So flat earthers believe that the earth is absolutely flat, right? And think about this for the moment. The earth can be flat, right? It can be circular, right? And there could be a dome over the earth, right? This is a possibility, right? When you really think about it. Again, though, I'm not a flat earther, man. And, whatever. I'm just putting it out there for you. And at the end of the day, things still have to rotate in a circular motion, right? The sun rises in the east and sets in the west, right? Now, here's a question that I always ask, people whenever I have the opportunity. Why is it that the sun and the moon appear in the sky at the same time, at least twice a day. Bright and early in the morning, when you wake up early in the morning, right? 6, 7, 8 o'clock, whenever the sun comes out for you, you can still look up and you can see the moon there and the sun right there, right? If the moon is here and the sun is here, what about around the planet, the rest of the planet? Because I was taught when I was a kid, I don't know about anybody else, but this is what I was taught, right? So don't call me crazy. This is what I was taught, that when the sun is on our side of the world, then the moon is on the other side of the world, right? So are you telling me that when the moon is in China, I can see it? Is that what it is? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, right? But whatever, man. I digress. Let me continue on with this whole Mark conversation, right? Now, going back to Revelation 13, y'all got to understand that, again, man, it tells you stuff. You got to read this, man. It says that the dragon is going to give his power to the beast, right? The dragon is Satan. The beast is the man of perdition, the lawless one, the man of sin, the Antichrist, whatever you want to call him, right? And then, of course, you have the second beast, right? And the second beast, many believe that it's the papacy, right? It's the Vatican, okay? Because we're going to have the one world religion. We're going to have a one world government, right? For sure. And the papacy now, question is this: is it the papacy, the organization acting as a government, or is it the actual Pope himself? We don't know. And at the same time, we don't know which Pope, if it is a Pope. We just don't know, right? But one thing we do know is that there's the dragon and then there's the beast, right? Now, the dragon is a given, it's Satan. The beast, we don't know. And remember, we're talking about the mark of the beast, right? We don't know who the beast is. Who is he? Do y'all know? Tell me. You know, many are speculating that it's Bill Gates, it's Obama, right? It's whomever, right? And they want to use, whatever wordplay or, numerology or whatever to add up to 666, right? I mean, go ahead, try it. But the thing is, we don't know, right? Y'all got to understand that at the end of the day, before the beast comes, right? Because remember, he's going to set up a government system, right? And the beast is going to be the devil incarnated into a human body, right? Before the beast comes, before we figure out and find out who this dude is, a lot of stuff is going to happen, man. There will be wars and rumors of wars and so many other things. There's going to be famine. There's going to be destruction. There's going to be so many things, man. The state of mankind is going to change. Read 2 Timothy 3 and you're going to find out how we, mankind, men, women, children, are going to treat each other. We're going to be liars, covetous, boasters, deniers of the truth, man. We're going to be all sorts of things. I mean, sure, we're that now, but it's going to be on such a different level, man. There's going to be so much turmoil on the planet that when the beast comes, right? And remember, not everybody's going to love this dude, but the masses will love him. The majority will love him, right? Because he's going to speak so eloquently. He's going to be able to just reel you in with everything that he says, right? He's going to be a smooth talker like Obama is, in the modern day, because Obama is a very good orator. Y'all got to admit it, whether you like him or not. He's a very, very good orator, right? You go back to 1939 to 1945. You go back to Adolf Hitler, even prior to that, right? Because y'all got to remember that Adolf Hitler was in jail, right, for a certain period of time. But he then started to write his book. He wrote his book, Mein Kampf. It didn't get much traction right at first, but eventually it started to pick up steam, and then everybody started to get the book. They started to buy it, or they would be gifted the book, right? And then, of course, other countries would want to print it in different languages and so on and so forth. And this man, Hitler, that is, was so passionate about what he believed, right? Believing in bringing in the Third Reich and believing that the Aryan nation will rise, right? And that the Jews are the problems to every single issue that they experience, in their society, right? The Mein Kampf book was essentially a declaration of war. That's what it was. But many people jumped onto it and went with him because if you watch Adolf Hitler, right? You see those videos of him talking. He was a very passionate man, extremely passionate man, right? And he was a very good orator, right? So you can see how people jumped on board and, went with what was talking about. Now, understand, I'm not saying that Adolf Hitler was an amazing man. I'm not putting him in that light whatsoever. This man had issues. He was extremely evil, right? And you can see how a man like that, when you look at him, you can see how people would have labeled him the Antichrist. But I'm going to tell you this man that's coming, right, is going to make Hitler look pale in comparison, right? And this, by no means, I am not disrespecting or disparaging the many people, the lives and the families that were lost during World War II. What I'm saying is that when this man comes, again, he's going to be the devil incarnate, right? And this man is going to unleash terror like you've never seen before on this planet. Now, here's the thing about the man of perdition, the lawless one, right? When all of this stuff is happening, all this turmoil, countries going to war and this, that, and the other, when he comes to power, you know what it's going to be all about? It's going to be all about peace and safety. Remember that. Peace and safety. This is not me talking. This is biblical. It's going to be about peace and safety. And he's going to be the one that's going to bring about, and I know you've heard this expression before because many people in power use it. He's going to bring about order out of chaos. That's right. Order out of chaos. Now, at that time, we're going to know who this dude is, right? He's going to put together an agreement, right? A 7-year agreement between Israel and its surrounding enemies, right? Who will agree to whatever terms, whatever is going to bring about peace, yeah? But something's going to happen to this man, whether he is, there's an assassination attempt or what have you, because some say he's going to lose one of his eyes, whatever the case may be. Something is going to happen to this man, right? That he is just going to flip a switch, right? Now, that could be the time when the devil goes into his body, right? Or it could be before, of course, but that could also be the time, right? And when this man arises out of this assassination attempt or what have you, right? He's going to unleash fury like the world has never seen before. At that time, we will really and truly know, those that are here on the planet at that time, who he is. We'll know that he is the beast because what he's going to do, he's going to implement a political system. He's going to run it by him, and have his 10 kings or overseers appointed, right, for the rest of the world. That's what he's going to do. He's going to allow us to work, to allow us to buy and sell and do everything else, but with his mark, right? Again, the mark of the beast. In order to know what the mark of the beast is, you got to know who the beast is, right? Once you know who the beast is, and once you understand what he's implementing, and when he brings about his mark, and of course the second beast that will be working alongside him, right, bring about this mark, then you'll know that is the mark of the beast, okay? The current situation that we have right now, again, is not the mark of the beast, but the mindset is leading us to the willful and blindful acceptance of it, right? If society is willing to take anything without doing any proper research or looking into stuff on their own and just believing whatever they're told, that's powerful. That means that we've been conditioned, right? Man, prior to all of this, we've been conditioned in such a way, right, that many, without even thinking, just said, yeah, I'm going to do it. Many, without even doing their proper research, said, yeah, I'm going to do it, right? Many, without even looking into other things, said, yeah, you know what? I believe what my government is telling me. I believe everything they tell me. If the government says, hey, I can cure myself just by jumping off a bridge into a lake, many people are going to do it. Don't be fooled, man. Many people are going to do it. I remember when I was a kid, I was talking to my dad a few weeks ago, my father a few weeks ago, and I said, you know what? I remember reading the book of Revelations when I was younger, right? And going through it and thinking to myself, people aren't going to take this mark. How are they going to do that? I mean, you know, think people are going to know, hey, this is the mark of the beast. I'm not trying to take that because that seals my eternal fate. No way. But now I can actually see how it's going to happen. And it's sad because broad is the road that leads to destruction, right? And narrow is the path that leads to eternal life. Narrow. And very few people are going to be on that path. You know, the straight and narrow, that's biblical, people, right? Walking the straight and narrow path, right? And no man goes to the Father but through the Son, through Jesus Christ. There's no other way to get to heaven, man. You ain't going to get to heaven on the broad road. I'm telling you that. There's nothing on the broad road. There's not a detour sign. There's not change your mind door or whatever. No, the broad path is a broad path. And billions, and I mean billions of people are going to be on it. They're already on it, right? And many more will be on it, sadly, right? And the narrow path is the narrow path for a reason, right? When Jesus Christ was here, he said, hey, they will hate you because they hated me first, right? And that's the truth. If you are not of the world, you are of Christ. It's that simple. If you're not of Christ, you are of the world, right? And because people hate him, they too also hate the Father, right? And if you hate the Son, you hate the Father. You hate the Father, you hate the Son, right? Now, that's not me talking. That's biblical. Go read the book of John, okay? That's all I'm telling you. Read the book of John. So getting back to the mark of the beast, I'm telling you that what is happening today is not the mark of the beast. It's not the mark of the beast. It's the mindset, right, is leading us to the mark of the beast, right? And the actions of our governments are leading us to the mark of the beast. Don't think that these guys are whole and pure. They're not. They're not. They have an agenda, and they're following this agenda, right? And they're the ones that are leading us and culling the sheep, right? So if y'all don't know about Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, read up on it, man. I know everybody says, yeah, I'll look into it. No, read up on it, man. Other than that, you know what? You can never say that you've never been told. You were never given the opportunity to actually look into things for yourself, right? Don't believe what I'm telling you. Do the research yourself, right? And if I'm a liar, call me out, right? But if what I'm telling you is true, acknowledge it, man, and move with it. That's all I'm trying to say. This is not the mark of the beast. We do not know who the beast is. Therefore, we do not know what his mark is, right? We haven't even figured out what the number is because the number is his name. It's a number of a man. We don't know who he is, right? So quit calling this thing the mark of the beast. Quit it. You're lying. For those people that are putting it out there and pushing it out there, it's a straight lie, right? And, for those who don't believe me, don't understand, read Revelation 13 and think for yourself, all right? Understand what it's trying to tell you or what it is telling you, right? And if you want to know the fate of those that do take the mark, then read Revelations 14, because then that tells you what happens to those who do take the mark, right? It's either you take the mark and you live on and you can continue with your job and buying and selling things and do what you want to do, or you don't take the mark and you suffer the fate that comes your way. You could be killed instantly or persecuted or whatever the case may be, right? In either case, a true Christian is going to go through persecution, right? There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? Some people might think that, they're living high off the hog and they're comfortable, and just because, they know a couple of verses of the Bible or they attend church like 3 times a year, they're good with God. That ain't the case, man. It's not the case. Those are casual Christians or gummy bear Christians, as Marcus Rogers would say, right? So again, I just wanted to touch on this today, all right, talking about the mark of the beast, and just mentioning and just saying to you that The current situation is not the mark of the beast. However, the mindset, of today, our governments and so on, what they're pushing on us, is eventually going to lead us to the mark of the beast. It's bringing us there, right? They're pretty much bringing us to our slaughter, right? Eventually, that is. And I don't want to paint a bleak picture, right? But again, if you really want to know more, read the book of Revelation, chapter 13, chapter 14. You can continue on as well if you want to learn more about who the beast is, all right? The beast system as well, okay? The book of Daniel is very, very good as well, because the beast is the abomination of desolation, right? Who will appear in the third temple, once it's built. And that's another thing too, people. The temple ain't even built, man. It's not even built. The temple has to be built because the beast is going to walk into the temple and proclaim that he is God, right? So there's a lot of things. There are a lot of things that have to happen and occur before we even know who this person is, right? So don't assume that it's, this person or that person or whomever. We don't know. We just don't know, right? But what I encourage you to do is continue to read your Bible if you're already doing. If you haven't, if you don't even have a Bible, go get one, man. You can always buy a Bible off of Amazon, right? Indigo, or other online sites if you don't want to go into a physical store. And I read the King James version, and I read the King James version because that's the Bible that I grew up on, right? I'm not a snob. I can read the ESV, I can read the NKJV, I can read the NIV, whatever. Doesn't matter to me, right? I just prefer the King James version, right? But look into the different versions, whatever works for you. Even online, go to the Bible apps, and there you go. You got it on your phone, you got it on your tablet, man. People understand that, what, we got to make a decision. It's either one side or the other side. That's it. But hey, maybe I've gone on too long about this, but in any case, I thank you so much for taking the time out to watch this video and consider what I've said. And I hope that you all continue to stay blessed and take care, people.